The sun hung low in the sky, casting a warm golden glow over the bustling intergalactic city of Novatera. Vibrant colors painted the streets where humans and aliens coexisted, creating a beautiful tapestry of cultures and traditions. Among the towering structures and floating vehicles, the scent of alien street food wafted through the air, mixing with the sound of laughter and chatter from the diverse crowd. It was a typical day at the intersection of 4th and Stellar Avenue, where Alex Rodriguez, a dedicated crossing guard, stood vigilant. Alex was not your ordinary crossing guard. With his bright reflective vest and a smile that could light up even the gloomiest of days, he took pride in his role. His job was to ensure the safety of children and adults alike as they navigated the busy streets. He had developed a rapport with the locals, often exchanging jokes with the kids as they crossed. Today was no different as he waved at a group of children, their cheerful voices echoing in his ears. "All right, kids. Hold hands and look both ways," he called out, his tone warm and encouraging. As he stood at his post, Alex's eyes wandered to the sky. The blue expanse shimmered, but there was something unusual brewing on the horizon. A speck, barely noticeable at first, grew larger by the second. It was an armada of massive ships, glinting ominously in the sunlight, were approaching. Panic began to creep into Alex's heart. He had heard stories of alien armadas, tales of fear and conflict between species that echoed through the city's history. He quickly refocused his attention on the bustling street, trying to appear calm despite the rising tension within him. The hum of hovercars and the chatter of passers-by faded into the background as Alex's thoughts raced. What did this mean? Were they friendly, or was danger looming? As he contemplated the situation, he noticed a few of the alien citizens glancing up, their expressions shifting from curiosity to alarm. The atmosphere changed, the once lively street grew quieter as uncertainty settled in. "Hey, Alex! You see that?" shouted Jake, a fellow crossing guard, who was stationed a few blocks down. Jake's voice broke through Alex's thoughts, bringing him back to the present. He nodded, his heart pounding in his chest. "Yeah, looks like trouble," he replied, his voice steady, though he could feel his hands beginning to tremble. Jake approached, concern etched on his face. "We should contact the authorities. This isn't just a parade." Alex glanced at the approaching armada again. Huge ships, each one towering over the tallest buildings, floated menacingly closer. "Let's do it," he agreed. They both reached for their communication devices, but before they could make a call, a sudden hush fell over the intersection. People stopped in their tracks, their gazes fixed on the sky. Just then, a child tugged at Alex's sleeve, innocence shining through wide eyes. "Mr. Alex, what's happening?" The question hung in the air, heavy with uncertainty. He knelt down, meeting the child's gaze. "I don't know yet, but we're going to be okay. Just stay close to your parents," he reassured, though he felt the weight of uncertainty settle on his shoulders. The armada drew nearer, and the crowd began to murmur, a wave of fear washing over them. Alex stood tall, trying to project calmness. "Everyone, please stay where you are," he shouted, raising his hands to create a barrier, a gesture of protection. More eyes turned to him, and he could see the fear reflected in their faces. As he took a deep breath, he noticed the ships hovering silently above, their metallic surfaces glistening ominously. What were they doing? A part of him wanted to run, to find safety, but another part of him knew he had to take a stand. If he could help even a little, he would. "If you're enjoying this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel," he called out, hoping to lighten the mood even just a bit. In that moment, he felt a surge of determination. He was a crossing guard, his job was to protect, guide, and ensure safety. Why should this be any different? The ships loomed above, and despite their size and power, he felt a flicker of hope ignite within him. Perhaps, just perhaps, he could make a difference. As the ships finally halted, the sound of engines fading into an eerie silence, Alex raised his hand high in the air, signaling for everyone to remain calm. The gesture was simple but filled with intention. He hoped it would convey a message: they were not hostile, they were prepared to communicate. But would anyone listen? The crowd held its breath, and time seemed to stretch as they awaited a response. He could see the silhouettes of beings aboard the ships, and a knot formed in his stomach. Would they understand?
Would they recognize the humanity in his gesture? Alex stood resolutely, his heart pounding, ready to face whatever came next. The silence was deafening, and all eyes were on him. The day had started like any other, with laughter and playful banter on the streets of Novatera. Now, it had transformed into a moment of unprecedented tension. As the ships loomed overhead, Alex's thoughts raced. This was not just an ordinary day, it was a crossroads of fate. Would he be the one to bridge the gap between species, or would fear dictate their future? With his hand still raised, he took a deep breath and focused on the ships, ready to confront whatever lay ahead. The fate of the city, and perhaps even the entire world, rested on a simple act of courage. Alex was determined not to back down. In that moment, he was more than a crossing guard, he was a beacon of hope. The sound of the bustling city faded slightly as Alex stood at his post, the weight of the moment pressing down on him. He turned to Jake, who had rushed over, his face a mask of concern. "We need to alert the authorities, Alex." "This isn't just a drill anymore," Jake said, his voice steady but laced with urgency. Alex nodded, the seriousness of their situation dawning on him. He pulled out his communicator, a small device that felt inadequate in the face of the looming armada. "I'll contact the control center," he said, his fingers trembling slightly as he pressed the buttons. A moment later, a crackling voice responded, breaking through the tension. "Central Command, what is your emergency?" Alex took a deep breath, trying to keep his voice composed. "This is Alex Rodriguez, crossing guard at Sector 5. We have an unidentified alien armada approaching the city. Requesting immediate assistance and protocol guidance." The voice on the other end hesitated, then replied, "Hold your position and maintain order. We are assessing the situation." The line went silent, leaving Alex feeling more helpless than before. He looked around, his heart sinking as he saw the expressions of the people around them transforming from curiosity to outright fear. Children were tugging at their parents' sleeves, wide-eyed with confusion, while adults whispered to one another, their voices tinged with panic. The vibrant street, usually filled with laughter and chatter, was now a cauldron of uncertainty. Alex felt a pang in his chest as he knelt to speak to a group of children who had gathered near him, their little faces reflecting the anxiety of the moment. "Hey there, everyone," he said, trying to sound reassuring. "I need you all to stay close to your parents, okay? Everything is going to be fine." One of the children, a girl with pigtails, looked up at him with wide, trusting eyes. "What's happening, mister?" "Alex," she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Alex hesitated, glancing back at the darkening sky, the massive ships gliding ever closer. "I'm not sure yet, but I promise to keep you safe," he replied, his heart racing. As he stood up, he could see Jake talking to other guards, their faces reflecting their concerns. It was evident that this wasn't just another day at work. The crowd shifted nervously, and Alex could sense the growing tension in the air. "Listen up, everyone," he shouted to grab their attention. "Please, remain calm and stay where you are. We are going to get through this together." He raised his hands, a gesture of peace, hoping to quell the anxiety that was spreading through the crowd. He turned back to Jake, who was now frantically trying to get updates from his own communicator. "They're saying they're sending security units, but we need to hold the line until they get here," Jake said, his brow furrowed with worry. As Alex scanned the intersection, he noticed the alien armada hovering ominously above. Ships of various shapes and sizes, adorned with strange symbols, floated silently, casting shadows over the street below. The sight was both breathtaking and terrifying. What did they want? Were they friendly? Or were they here to conquer? Suddenly, a loud roar erupted from the armada, and the crowd gasped collectively. Alex felt his stomach drop. "Stay back," he shouted, instinctively stepping forward, trying to shield the children behind him. He could feel Jake's hand on his shoulder, steadying him, but the uncertainty of the situation was palpable. "Alex, we need to get everyone to safety," Jake urged, his voice urgent. But Alex remained rooted to the spot, his instincts kicking in. He had always been a protector, a guardian of the streets. This was his moment to shine, to confront the unknown, and to stand tall for those who depended on him. As the ships loomed closer, he felt a surge of determination. He couldn't just let fear dictate their fate.
If you're enjoying this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, he shouted, a small, humorous attempt to lighten the mood amidst the chaos. A few faces turned toward him, expressions shifting from fear to bewildered amusement. It was a small victory, but it was enough to bolster his confidence. He raised his hand higher, a signal for peace, hoping the aliens in the ships would understand. The crowd watched, breathless, as he extended his arm toward the sky, a lone figure standing against the looming threat. The seconds felt like hours as he awaited a response, wondering if this simple act could change the course of events. Then, to his surprise, the Armada halted mid-air, hovering silently. A heavy silence enveloped the area, and Alex could hear the faint whispers of the crowd as they processed what had just happened. The ships had stopped. "Look," a voice from the crowd exclaimed, pointing at the lead ship. A small hatch opened, and a beam of light shot down, illuminating the intersection. Alex squinted against the bright light, his heart racing.
What was happening? Would they respond to his gesture?
The alien figures began to emerge from the ship, their shapes silhouetted against the light. They appeared hesitant, as if assessing the situation before them. Alex's heart pounded harder in his chest, a mixture of fear and hope flooding through him. In that moment, he realized he had to do more than just raise his hand, he had to show them that he was serious about wanting peace. He took a deep breath, grounding himself, reminding himself of his duty as a crossing guard.
He was here to protect, to guide, and to communicate.
With his heart racing and adrenaline pumping, he stepped forward, leaving the crowd behind.
The aliens watched intently, their expressions unreadable.
Alex raised his hand again, steadying his breathing. This was not just about him anymore, it was about everyone. The fate of the city rested on his shoulders.
The seconds ticked by as the alien commander stepped forward, their gaze locked on Alex. Would they understand? Would they listen? With everything at stake, he was prepared to confront whatever came next.
The future hung in the balance, and he was ready to face it head-on, determined to bridge the gap between his world and theirs. As the alien armada hovered ominously above the bustling intersection, Alex felt a rush of adrenaline surge through him. It was a moment of truth, and he knew he had to act decisively. Steeling his resolve, he took a deep breath, reminding himself of the countless times he had helped children cross the street safely. This was different, but the principles of protection and guidance remained the same. With a firm grip on his emotions, Alex raised his hand high above his head, the universal signal for stop. It was a bold move, one that could either lead to his downfall or become a pivotal moment in interspecies relations. He could feel the weight of the moment pressing down on him as he stood alone against the massive fleet.
Would they understand? Would they respond?
The buzzing sounds of the crowd faded into a low murmur, their eyes fixed on him with a mixture of fear and curiosity. He glanced back briefly, catching a glimpse of Jake, his fellow crossing guard, who looked equally apprehensive but supportive. Alex could see the uncertainty etched on Jake's face, but also a flicker of hope. The crowd's tension hung thick in the air, a tangible reminder of the stakes at play. "Stay back," he shouted, his voice carrying through the throng of people.
They needed to trust him. "Everyone, just hold on. I'm going to try to communicate."
His heart raced as he turned back toward the Armada, feeling the eyes of both humans and aliens on him. The ships were a sight to behold, sleek, metallic bodies with odd shapes and glowing symbols. They looked both fascinating and intimidating, and Alex's mind raced with questions.
What did they want? Were they here to conquer, or was there a chance for diplomacy?
He hoped his gesture would convey a message of peace and not provoke aggression.
For a moment, time seemed to stand still.
The ships remained frozen in the sky, and the silence around them was deafening. Alex raised his hand even higher, feeling the warmth of the sun on his skin, a stark contrast to the cold, metallic presence hovering above. The tension in the crowd intensified. He could hear whispers and gasps as people speculated on what might happen next.
Then, to his astonishment, the lead ship began to descend slowly, its engines humming with a low frequency that vibrated through the ground beneath his feet.
Alex's heart raced, both with fear and exhilaration.
This could be it, the moment that changes everything.
He could sense the mixture of hope and dread in the air around him, a strange cocktail of emotions that left him breathless. "Hold your position," he commanded his fellow citizens, his voice steady despite the chaos swirling in his mind. He was determined to maintain control. "We are here together, and we will face this as one." The crowd responded with a murmur of agreement, bolstered by his confidence. As the ship continued to lower, a hatch opened slowly, revealing a bright light that shone down upon them. Alex squinted at the sudden brightness, shielding his eyes with his free hand. From the depths of the light, he could make out figures moving, their forms emerging hesitantly from the ship. The crowd collectively held its breath, anticipation hanging heavy in the air. "Just stay calm. Trust me," Alex said softly to himself, though he hoped the crowd could hear him too. He needed to project an aura of calm and assurance. This was it, he was about to engage in an unprecedented dialogue with beings from another world. The figures finally materialized, revealing themselves to be tall, slender beings adorned with shimmering armor that glinted like starlight. They had large, expressive eyes that seemed to convey a mix of curiosity and caution. Alex stood his ground, his heart pounding as their gaze fell upon him. This was a moment that would be etched into the annals of history, and he was determined to make it count. "Why are you here?" he called out, his voice echoing in the stillness. "We mean you no harm. We only wish to understand." He raised his hand higher, a universal signal of peace, hoping they would reciprocate. The aliens exchanged glances, their body language intriguing and alien. Alex could see them communicating silently, gestures and expressions flitting between them like a dance. The atmosphere was electric, and he felt as though he were teetering on the edge of a knife. Would they see him as a threat or as a bridge toward understanding? Just then, one of the aliens stepped forward, its movements graceful and deliberate. A strange device attached to its wrist flickered to life, projecting a holographic image of the city. Alex watched in awe as the vibrant colors and patterns danced before him. It seemed the alien was trying to convey something. Could it be a map? A message? "Stay strong, everyone!" Alex shouted to the crowd, feeling their eyes on him, drawing strength from their collective energy. "We are in this together." He could sense the crowd's anxiety begin to transform into a cautious curiosity. They wanted to believe in the possibility of peace. The alien continued to manipulate the holographic display, and as Alex focused, he could see what appeared to be images of resources: water, food, and energy sources. Was this a request? An offer? His mind whirled with the implications. The stakes were rising, and he had to navigate this delicate moment carefully. "Are you asking for resources?" Alex ventured, trying to decipher their intentions. "We can help. We can find a way to work together." His heart raced with the enormity of his words. He was speaking for the entire city, for humanity at large, and he felt the weight of that responsibility. The alien's eyes widened, and for a moment, Alex believed he saw a glimmer of hope reflected back at him. Perhaps they were here not to invade but to seek assistance. The thought filled him with newfound courage, and he stood taller, the sun illuminating his face. "If you're enjoying this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel," he called out, a hint of levity breaking through the tension. The alien responded with a series of gestures, and the holographic projection shifted to display images of cooperation: humans and aliens working side by side, exchanging goods and sharing knowledge. Alex felt a surge of hope. Was this what they envisioned? A future where both species thrived together? As the alien spoke again, this time its voice came through an unseen translator, a melodic sound that resonated deep within him. "We seek partnership, not conflict," it stated, the words echoing with clarity. "We are in need of sustenance. Your resources will help us survive, and in return, we can offer technology, knowledge, peace." Alex's heart soared at the possibility of collaboration. This was the moment he had hoped for, a chance to forge an alliance that could change the course of both their civilizations. He looked back at the crowd, their faces a mixture of astonishment and growing optimism. "See," he said, his voice rising with excitement. "It's happening. We can do this." The cheers from the crowd erupted, a wave of sound that filled the air with energy. The alien commander nodded, seeming to recognize the potential in this human's resolve. The gathered crowd became a united front, and Alex could feel the electricity of hope coursing through them.
In that moment, he realized that standing alone was no longer necessary. Together, they could pave the way for a future of cooperation, understanding, and peace.
With his hand still raised, he felt as if he was not just a crossing guard anymore, but a pioneer of intergalactic harmony. The possibilities were endless, and he was ready to embrace whatever came next.
The moment hung in the air, heavy with anticipation.
As Alex stood resolutely at the intersection, his hand raised high, the massive alien armada seemed to freeze in mid-flight, as if caught in a moment of disbelief. The vibrant colors of the ships glinted under the sunlight, and the hum of their engines faded into a tense silence. Alex could feel the weight of the collective gaze from the crowd behind him, their breaths held, their hopes hanging on his bold gesture. "Why are you here?" he shouted, his voice echoing across the open space, desperate to bridge the gap between two worlds.
"We mean you no harm. We only wish to understand."
His heart raced, knowing that the fate of many rested on his shoulders.
Would the aliens see him as a threat, or would they recognize his hand as a sign of peace? The ships loomed large, their forms alien and intimidating against the backdrop of the bright sky.
Alex could see the figures inside, their skin tones varying like the colors of a distant nebula. The aliens exchanged glances and gestures, their expressions a mix of confusion and curiosity. Alex's determination did not waver, he felt a surge of courage. "Stay strong, everyone," he encouraged, glancing back at the crowd.
"We are in this together."
The energy from the crowd was palpable, he could sense their anxiety morphing into intrigue.
Children whispered to their parents, their wide eyes reflecting both fear and fascination.
The hum of the alien ships echoed faintly as they shifted slightly, and Alex took it as a good sign. He kept his hand raised, hoping it would convey his willingness to communicate. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the center of the armada, moving forward with an air of authority. Alex's breath hitched as the alien approached the edge of the platform, its body language both graceful and deliberate. It raised a device from its side, and a holographic image flickered to life above, casting a soft blue glow on the ground. The projection displayed intricate patterns and symbols that seemed to swirl and shift, forming a map of sorts.
Alex squinted, trying to decipher its meaning. Was this a depiction of their home planet? A representation of resources?
The possibilities raced through his mind, and he felt the tension in the air intensifying.
"Are you asking for resources?"
Alex ventured, piecing together the fragments of their communication.
"We can help. We can find a way to work together."
He spoke each word with conviction, feeling the gravity of his role not just as a crossing guard but as an ambassador of humanity in this moment of crisis.
The alien's eyes, large and expressive, widened as it processed Alex's words.
The crowd held its breath, the only sound the distant hum of the ships overhead. For an instant, Alex thought he saw a flicker of understanding. The alien seemed to mimic the motion of Alex's raised hand, lifting its own in a similar gesture.
"Peace," the alien said, its voice resonating through a translator device, a melodic sound that sent shivers down Alex's spine. "We seek peace. We need sustenance.
Your resources can help us survive." The words echoed like a siren of hope, cutting through the tension that had enveloped the area. Alex's heart soared at the possibility of cooperation. "If you're enjoying this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel," he called out, trying to lighten the mood. He felt a wave of tension release as laughter and cheers erupted from the crowd behind him, a small but vital step toward unity. The alien commander continued, gesturing to the hologram, which now displayed images of various resources: water, food, energy sources. "We can offer technology, knowledge," it said, the translator conveying not just words but emotions laden with desperation and hope.
"We are not here to conquer. We are here to survive."
Alex nodded, the enormity of the moment washing over him.
"Together, we can create something extraordinary," he replied, his voice steady. "Let's communicate and collaborate, rather than fight."
The crowd erupted in murmurs of agreement, and Alex felt the collective heartbeat of two worlds synchronizing. In that instant, he realized how crucial this moment was, not just for their survival, but for the future.
The Armada was not merely a threat, it could be a partner.
He glanced at the alien commander, its alien features softening as it listened to Alex's words.
Can we establish a meeting? Alex proposed, feeling a surge of hope. A place where we can discuss our needs and how we can help each other?
The alien nodded slowly, and for the first time, Alex felt a flicker of genuine connection between two species that had been divided for so long.
The atmosphere shifted, the tension dissipating like fog under the morning sun.
Cheers erupted from the crowd, and Alex raised his hand again, not as a sign of defiance but as a signal of solidarity. "This is just the beginning," he proclaimed, feeling the warmth of unity blossom around him. The alien commander responded with a series of gestures, and the holographic projection expanded, depicting images of humans and aliens working side by side, sharing knowledge and resources. Alex could feel the energy of hope surging through him, lighting the way for what lay ahead. As the cheers of the crowd enveloped him, he realized that he had stepped into a role far greater than that of a crossing guard.
He was now a bridge between worlds, a beacon of possibility.
The path ahead would not be easy, but with open hearts and hands raised in peace, they could forge a future where cooperation triumphed over conflict.
With renewed vigor, Alex took a deep breath, absorbing the moment.
He looked around at the smiling faces of both humans and aliens, all united in the shared dream of a harmonious existence. The stakes had never been higher, but Alex was ready to embrace whatever challenges lay ahead, fueled by the belief that together, they could shape a brighter tomorrow.
The atmosphere around the busy intersection was electric, a blend of tension and anticipation. Alex stood resolute, his heart racing as he locked eyes with the alien commander.
The air was thick with uncertainty, the crowd of humans and aliens alike holding their breath, waiting for the next move. This was not just about crossing guards in traffic anymore, it felt like the weight of two worlds rested on his shoulders. "Look," Alex began, his voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through him.
"I know this is a misunderstanding, but I believe we can find a way to work together."
He gestured toward the city behind him, where the vibrant life of the intergalactic metropolis continued, oblivious to the looming threat.
"We have resources that can help you. You don't need to force your way in." The alien commander tilted its head, an expression of curiosity flickering across its features.
The holographic display above them pulsed with images of their home planet, lush landscapes, teeming oceans, but also signs of desperation.
"We seek sustenance, not conflict," the commander replied through the translator, its voice echoing with an alien timbre that sent shivers down Alex's spine.
"Our supplies have dwindled. We come in peace, but we need help." Alex felt a surge of empathy wash over him. Here was a being, just like him, driven by the need to survive. "If you're enjoying this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel," he called out, hoping to ease the tension that gripped the crowd. A few chuckles erupted from the humans, breaking the ice just a bit, a reminder that humor could coexist even in moments of peril.
"Peace is what we desire," the commander continued, its eyes glinting with sincerity.
"But our situation is dire.
We cannot return empty-handed." "We can help," Alex insisted, sensing the urgency in the alien's voice. "Let's set up a meeting. We can discuss how we can assist each other."
"You need resources, and we need to ensure our safety. We can create a plan that benefits both of our species." His mind raced with possibilities, each one more hopeful than the last. As he spoke, Alex noticed the expressions around him shifting. The fear that had clouded the faces of the onlookers was slowly being replaced with curiosity and hope. The crowd began to murmur amongst themselves, their body language relaxing as they sensed an opportunity for dialogue rather than conflict.
The alien commander nodded slowly, its demeanor softening.
A meeting would be beneficial, it agreed, a hint of relief washing over its features.
"I will send representatives to discuss terms. But we must act quickly."
"Absolutely," Alex replied, his heart swelling with purpose.
"Let's find a neutral ground where we can all feel safe.
We can work out a resource exchange, perhaps even share knowledge.
There's so much we can learn from each other."
He felt a wave of determination, knowing that this was more than just a negotiation, this was a moment that could redefine their futures. As the commander gestured toward its armada, the ships began to stabilize, hovering quietly above the city. The crowd erupted in cheers, a collective shout of relief that echoed through the streets. Alex raised his hand again, not just as a crossing guard but as a symbol of peace. "This is just the beginning," he proclaimed, his voice carrying over the cheers. The alien commander raised its hand in response, mimicking Alex's gesture, a sign of mutual respect and understanding. "Then let us proceed with caution and goodwill," it stated, the translator conveying a warmth that resonated with Alex. "Together, we can forge a new path." The atmosphere shifted dramatically, the tension that had hung in the air dissipating like mist under the morning sun. Hope blossomed among the crowd as Alex felt the energy of two worlds beginning to intertwine. They were no longer just humans and aliens, they were partners on the brink of a new alliance. As they began to discuss logistical details, Alex realized how crucial this moment was for the future of both species. The stakes had never been higher, but he was ready to embrace whatever challenges lay ahead. He could feel the pulse of possibility thrumming through him, a reminder that dialogue could triumph over fear and misunderstanding. "Let's set a time and place for our meeting," Alex suggested, his mind racing with thoughts of how they could begin to build this bridge between worlds. "Perhaps the city hall? It's a neutral ground, and we can prepare for the discussions." The alien nodded in agreement, clearly impressed by Alex's initiative. As they finalized the details, Alex took a moment to look around. What had once felt like a chaotic intersection had transformed into a hub of hope. Humans and aliens were mingling, sharing stories and laughter, their initial fears melting away in the face of a common goal. He felt a sense of pride swell within him, knowing he had played a part in this moment of change. The commander's voice broke through his thoughts. "We will bring our best representatives. Let us show you our technologies and share our knowledge." The sincerity in its tone was palpable, and Alex could see the potential for something extraordinary. As they concluded their discussions, the alien commander turned to him with a look of gratitude. "You have shown great courage and wisdom today, human. It is rare to find such qualities." Alex felt a flush of warmth at the compliment, knowing that this was just the beginning of a long journey. "We can do this together," Alex replied, sincerity lacing his words. "We just need to keep communicating and understanding each other." The hope in his heart surged, and he knew that this was a pivotal moment for both species. As the Armada ships began to retreat, Alex stood tall, his head held high. The crowd around him erupted into applause, a sound that echoed through the streets like a powerful anthem of unity. "Together, we will find a way," he shouted, the words spilling from his lips like a rallying cry. In the days that followed, preparations for the meeting began. Alex found himself at the forefront of this newfound alliance, working tirelessly to ensure that both sides felt represented and heard. He coordinated with local leaders and alien representatives, each meeting filled with laughter, learning, and the promise of cooperation. With every passing day, the relationship between humans and aliens grew stronger. The city was filled with excitement as preparations for the upcoming meeting progressed. Alex felt a sense of fulfillment, knowing that he was part of something bigger than himself. His role as a crossing guard had transformed into something much more significant. He was now a catalyst for change, a bridge between two worlds, and he couldn't help but smile at the thought. The future looked bright, and he was ready to embrace it all. The atmosphere grew tense as Alex stood firm, his heart pounding in his chest. The alien commander looked at him, its expression inscrutable but its eyes reflecting a myriad of emotions, a mix of surprise, curiosity, and something deeper that Alex couldn't quite place. He felt the weight of the moment pressing down on him, as though the future of both species rested on the brink of this interaction. He needed to tread carefully, for one misstep could plunge everything back into chaos. As the crowd around him fell silent, he could hear the soft whirring of the alien ships above, their engines humming with power. The once bustling intersection had transformed into a stage for what could either be a historic moment or a catastrophic failure. Alex took a deep breath, attempting to calm the rising anxiety within him. The stakes were incredibly high. He was not just a crossing guard today, but a representative of humanity. "Listen," Alex began, his voice steady but carrying an undercurrent of urgency. "We don't want conflict. We are open to understanding. But we need to communicate." He looked directly at the commander, hoping to convey sincerity through his gaze. The crowd behind him was watching, breaths held in anticipation, waiting for what would happen next. Suddenly, the alien commander raised a tentacle and pointed toward Alex, its elongated fingers gesturing with what seemed like intent.
Your gesture is intriguing, human.
We have encountered many of your kind, but few have shown such bravery.
The universal translator worked its magic, converting the commander's alien dialect into recognizable words. Why do you not fear us?
Alex felt a flicker of hope ignite within him. Because fear only breeds more fear, he replied, his voice gaining strength.
I believe that if we can find common ground and understand each other, we can create something beautiful.
He glanced at the crowd again, their eyes wide with curiosity and anticipation.
I want to help. I want us to work together.
The alien commander's eyes narrowed slightly, considering Alex's words.
You speak of collaboration.
Yet, your people have shown hostility towards ours in the past.
What assurance do we have that this is not merely a ploy?
The tension thickened in the air, and Alex felt the weight of the commander's skepticism. Alex knew he had to respond wisely. He thought back to the stories he'd heard growing up about misunderstandings between species, tales filled with conflict but also moments of understanding. I can't change the past, he said, his voice steady.
But I can promise you this, I will do everything in my power to foster goodwill. We can learn from each other. Let's find out how.
The alien commander regarded him for a long moment, its expression shifting as if it were weighing the gravity of Alex's words.
In that silence, Alex felt the collective breath of the crowd, humans and aliens alike, hanging in the balance.
It is a noble thought, the commander finally said.
But words alone will not suffice. We need action to back them up.
Then let's take action together, Alex replied, his determination shining through.
We can arrange for a meeting, a dialogue between our people.
Let's explore our needs and concerns. I believe we can find a way to coexist. He could feel the pulse of hope reverberating through him, and he wanted to share it with everyone around him. The alien commander hesitated before nodding slowly.
Very well. We shall meet.
But understand this, if trust is to be built, it must be nurtured by both sides.
We will bring our representatives, and you will bring yours. Yes. Absolutely. Alex exclaimed, excitement bubbling within him.
The crowd behind him erupted into cheers, their relief palpable.
This could be the turning point they all needed. Together, we can make this work.
As the commander turned to address its armada, Alex felt a rush of triumph mixed with uncertainty. The initial chaos seemed to have settled, but he knew the journey ahead would be fraught with challenges. Let's set a time and place for our meeting, he suggested, his mind racing with possibilities.
Perhaps the city hall?
It's a neutral ground, a space where we can come together without tension.
The commander considered this proposal carefully, its tentacles twitching as if in deep thought. The city hall is acceptable.
We will arrive with our delegates. It paused, then added, you have shown courage today. I sense potential for cooperation between our races. As the alien commander relayed the plans to its crew, Alex felt gratitude wash over him. They were on the precipice of something monumental, a chance to rewrite the narrative that had long defined human-alien interactions. He turned to the crowd, beaming with pride.
Thank you for your patience, everyone. We are making progress.
You did it, Alex, someone shouted from behind, and the crowd erupted into cheers again. You're our hero. Let's not forget that this is just the beginning, Alex replied, raising his hand to quiet them.
We have much more to do. This is an opportunity, and we must seize it.
He felt a surge of responsibility wash over him. He had to ensure that this moment was not wasted. As the alien ships began to take their leave, Alex watched with bated breath, his heart racing. The Armada hovered momentarily, as if waiting for a final signal. Together, we will find a way, he shouted, his voice echoing across the intersection.
The crowd joined in, their voices merging into a powerful anthem of unity and hope.
In the days that followed, the excitement in the city was palpable. Alex found himself immersed in preparations for the upcoming meeting. Each discussion was filled with anticipation and hope, as humans and aliens alike worked to ensure their voices would be represented. He coordinated with local leaders and alien representatives, each meeting revealing new layers of understanding and opportunity. As Alex walked through the bustling streets, he could feel the energy of change around him. The city was alive with chatter about the upcoming dialogues, a mix of curiosity and optimism that made his heart swell. He had never felt more connected to his community, both human and alien. They were all in this together, and he was proud to be a part of it. With every passing day, Alex's role as a crossing guard evolved. He had transitioned from simply managing traffic to being a facilitator of peace. The intersection that once felt chaotic now buzzed with a newfound sense of purpose. People exchanged ideas, shared meals, and laughed together, barriers breaking down one conversation at a time. The anticipation of the meeting loomed on the horizon, but Alex felt confident. This was a chance not just to negotiate resources or establish trade, but to forge a friendship that could last generations. He was ready to step forward into this new chapter of history, holding tightly to the belief that compassion and understanding could change everything. His heart raced with excitement, and he knew deep down that they were about to embark on a journey that would redefine their existence. Unity was within reach, and Alex was determined to see it through. As Alex stood in front of the towering alien commander, he could feel the weight of the moment pressing down on his shoulders. The tension in the air seemed to thicken, wrapping around him like a heavy blanket. It was as if the entire universe was holding its breath, waiting to see how this unprecedented encounter would unfold. Memories of the children he had helped cross the street just hours before flashed through his mind, reminding him of the responsibility he felt toward his community and the greater good. "Listen," he began, his voice steady despite the quaking in his heart. "I know we come from different worlds, but at the end of the day, we all want the same things: safety, security, and a future for our families." He glanced over his shoulder at the crowd of humans and aliens, their faces a mix of curiosity and concern. "If we can find a way to communicate, to understand each other, I believe we can avoid conflict." The alien commander's eyes, multifaceted and shimmering like jewels, studied Alex intently. "You speak of understanding, yet your kind has brought destruction upon us in the past," it replied, its voice deep and resonant, echoing in the silent square. "How can we trust you?" Alex's mind raced, knowing that this was the pivotal moment of their encounter. He took a deep breath, summoning every ounce of courage he had. "I can't change what has happened before, and I can't speak for all humans," he admitted, "but I stand here today, not as a soldier or a leader, but as a simple crossing guard. My job is to protect, to ensure that those who pass through my intersection are safe. I want to extend that protection to you." The alien's tentacles shifted slightly, and Alex took it as a sign of consideration. "If you wish to prove your sincerity, you must show it through actions, not just words," the commander stated, its voice firm yet not unkind. "Our people have suffered greatly. We seek resources to survive, not conflict." "Then let's talk about resources," Alex suggested, feeling a spark of hope ignite within him. "We can work together to find a solution that benefits both our people. Perhaps we can share knowledge and support each other in ways we haven't even considered." He could see the crowd behind him lean in, eager to hear more. If you're enjoying this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Together, we can make a difference. The alien commander's expression remained unreadable, but Alex sensed a shift in the atmosphere. "Very well, human. We will agree to a dialogue. However, I will bring my representatives, and you must do the same. Trust is not easily given, and we will need to establish a foundation for our discussions." "Absolutely. I'll make sure we have a diverse group of voices at the table," Alex replied, his enthusiasm bubbling over. "We can meet at the city hall. It's neutral ground, a place where we can speak freely without fear." As the alien began to relay the message to its crew, Alex felt a wave of relief wash over him. They were on the brink of something monumental, a chance to reshape the history that had long defined human-alien relations. Turning to his community, he raised his arms to quiet the excited murmurs that were rising. "Everyone, thank you for your patience. We are making progress." The crowd erupted into cheers, their relief palpable. "You did it, Alex," someone shouted, their voice rising above the others. "You're our hero." "Let's not forget that this is just the beginning," Alex said, his heart swelling with pride. "We have much more to do. This is an opportunity, and we must seize it."
He felt the weight of responsibility pressing down on him, a reminder that he had to ensure that this moment was not wasted. As the alien ships began to retreat, Alex watched, breath caught in his throat. The Armada hovered momentarily, and he felt the tension in the air shift. "Together, we will find a way," he shouted, his voice echoing across the intersection. The crowd joined him, their voices merging into a powerful chorus of hope and unity. Days passed, and the city buzzed with anticipation as preparations for the upcoming meeting ramped up. Alex found himself immersed in discussions with local leaders and alien representatives. Each meeting revealed new layers of understanding and opportunity, and he felt a connection blossom between the two communities. Walking through the bustling streets, the excitement was electric. Humans and aliens exchanged ideas, shared meals, and laughed together. Barriers were breaking down one conversation at a time. Alex felt a sense of belonging he had never experienced before. This was more than just a job now, he had become a bridge between two worlds. As the meeting loomed closer, Alex grew more determined. He knew that this was not just about negotiating resources but about forging lasting friendships that could last generations. The stakes were high, and he was ready to step forward into this new chapter of history, holding tightly to the belief that compassion and understanding could change everything. The day of the meeting arrived, and Alex stood at the city hall, the air thick with anticipation. Representatives from both sides filed in, and he felt the weight of their expectations. He reminded himself that he was just a crossing guard, yet here he was, playing an essential role in shaping the future of both species. As he took a deep breath, steeling himself for what was to come, he knew that this was just the beginning. With hope in his heart and determination in his veins, Alex was ready to embrace the challenge ahead, believing wholeheartedly that unity was not only possible but inevitable. With trust established, Alex proposed a shared resource exchange, a revolutionary idea that could pave the way for a new relationship between humans and aliens. "We can work together to find a solution that benefits both our people," he said, his voice filled with conviction. "Perhaps we can share knowledge and support each other in ways we haven't even considered." The alien commander, intrigued by Alex's boldness and sincerity, nodded slowly. "Your offer is intriguing, human. However, I must insist on clarity. What exactly do you propose?" Alex took a deep breath, feeling the weight of his community's hopes resting on his shoulders. He glanced back at the crowd gathered behind him, an eclectic mix of humans and aliens, all eyes glued to the unfolding dialogue. He could sense their anticipation. "We could exchange technological resources and cultural knowledge. For instance, our city has advanced agricultural techniques that could help your people sustain themselves better," he explained. The commander's eyes narrowed thoughtfully, considering Alex's words. "And what would you want in return?" "Knowledge about your advancements in energy production and healthcare," Alex replied. "We are facing challenges in those areas, and learning from you could prove invaluable." He felt a surge of hope as he spoke, imagining a future where both communities thrived together. The alien paused for a moment, and Alex could see the wheels turning in its mind. "Your proposal suggests mutual benefit, but trust is a fragile thing. We have been deceived in the past by those who sought to take advantage of our plight. If you're enjoying this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us bring more exciting tales like this one." He turned back to the commander, maintaining eye contact. "I understand your hesitation. But I promise you, I will bring representatives from our community, people who can assure you that we are sincere." The commander seemed to weigh his options carefully before responding. "Very well, human. I will bring my representatives, and you must do the same. We will meet in 3 days at the city hall. It is neutral ground, where we can discuss this matter further." Alex felt a wave of relief wash over him. This was a monumental step forward, a chance to reshape the future of human-alien relations. "Thank you," he said earnestly. "Together, we can create something beautiful." As the alien began to relay the message to its crew, Alex turned to the crowd, raising his arms to quiet the excited murmurs that were rising. "Everyone, thank you for your patience. We are making progress." The crowd erupted into cheers, their relief palpable. "You did it, Alex," someone shouted, their voice rising above the others. "You're our hero. Let's not forget that this is just the beginning, Alex said, his heart swelling with pride. We have much more to do. This is an opportunity, and we must seize it. He felt the weight of responsibility pressing down on him, a reminder that he had to ensure that this moment was not wasted. As the alien ships began to retreat, Alex watched, breath caught in his throat. The Armada hovered momentarily, and he felt the tension in the air shift. Together, we will find a way, he shouted, his voice echoing across the intersection. The crowd joined him, their voices merging into a powerful chorus of hope and unity. In the days that followed, the city buzzed with anticipation as preparations for the upcoming meeting ramped up. Alex found himself immersed in discussions with local leaders and alien representatives. Each meeting revealed new layers of understanding and opportunity, and he felt a connection blossom between the two communities. Walking through the bustling streets, the excitement was electric. Humans and aliens exchanged ideas, shared meals, and laughed together. Barriers were breaking down one conversation at a time. Alex felt a sense of belonging he had never experienced before. This was more than just a job now, he had become a bridge between two worlds. As the meeting loomed closer, Alex grew more determined. He knew that this was not just about negotiating resources but about forging lasting friendships that could last generations. The stakes were high, and he was ready to step forward into this new chapter of history, holding tightly to the belief that compassion and understanding could change everything. The day of the meeting arrived, marking a pivotal moment for the city. Alex stood at the city hall, the air thick with anticipation. Representatives from both sides filed in, and he felt the weight of their expectations. He reminded himself that he was just a crossing guard, yet here he was, playing an essential role in shaping the future of both species. As he took a deep breath, steeling himself for what was to come, he knew that this was just the beginning. With hope in his heart and determination in his veins, Alex was ready to embrace the challenge ahead, believing wholeheartedly that unity was not only possible but inevitable. This meeting would not only determine the fate of their immediate relationship but could also inspire future generations to view one another through a lens of collaboration rather than conflict. The stakes were higher than he had ever imagined, but so were the possibilities. As the clock ticked down to the meeting's start, Alex felt a surge of courage. He was not just a crossing guard, he was a representative of change, a voice for peace, and a beacon of hope. He was determined to ensure that this opportunity was not lost. The future lay before him, bright and promising, and he was ready to seize it with both hands. As the Armada prepared to depart, Alex stood at the intersection, his heart racing as he reflected on the day's monumental events. The sun began to set, casting an orange glow over the bustling city, a stark contrast to the dark shadows of the alien ships hovering overhead just hours before. The crowd that had gathered around him now exuded an air of relief and hope, their faces illuminated by the soft light and the warmth of newfound friendship. He felt a mixture of pride and disbelief wash over him. Just a few hours earlier, he had been a simple crossing guard, a guardian of children and traffic at the busy intersection of this intergalactic city. Now, he stood on the cusp of something far greater, a bridge between two worlds. As the alien commander approached him, Alex's mind raced with thoughts of what had just transpired. He could hardly believe that his gesture had stopped an Armada and opened the door to peaceful negotiations. The alien commander, towering and majestic with features that gleamed under the sun, extended a hand in gratitude. This was more than just a handshake, it was a symbol of their new alliance. Alex grasped the commander's hand firmly, feeling the cool, textured surface against his palm. "Thank you for trusting us," he said, his voice steady despite the whirlwind of emotions within. "This is just the beginning." The commander nodded, its multifaceted eyes reflecting a sense of respect and understanding. "Your bravery today has changed the course of our history. We will return to our people with stories of your courage. Together, we can forge a future of peace." The words resonated deeply with Alex, filling him with hope and determination. He had taken a stand for his city, for the people he cared about, and for the possibility of coexistence between humans and aliens. As the Armada began to retract, the crowd erupted into cheers, their voices rising in a collective celebration of what they had just witnessed. "Alex! You did it," someone shouted. "You're our hero." The cheers echoed through the air, and Alex felt his face flush with warmth. He was just a crossing guard, but in that moment, he felt larger than life. "Let's not forget," he called out, raising his hands to quiet the crowd. "This is a team effort. We all played a part in this. It's about our community coming together, showing that we can work with others, regardless of where they come from." The crowd nodded, their excitement palpable, as they absorbed the gravity of his words. It was a reminder that together, they could achieve things they had never thought possible. As the last of the alien ships began to depart, Alex turned his gaze skyward, watching the vessels soar into the twilight. Each ship represented a new beginning, a symbol of the partnership that had just been born. He could feel the energy of the moment, the air thick with promise and potential. And although he was just one person, he knew that this was a pivotal moment not only for him but for all of humanity. In the days that followed, the city buzzed with anticipation. News of the peace negotiations spread like wildfire, igniting conversations in every corner of the bustling metropolis. Alex found himself in meetings with local leaders, discussing how best to approach the upcoming talks. Each discussion revealed deeper layers of understanding, and he felt the fabric of cooperation weaving tighter between humans and aliens. Walking through the vibrant streets filled with the enticing aromas of alien street food, he saw humans and aliens mingling, sharing stories, and laughing together. It was a sight he had longed to see, a community united despite their differences. Alex felt a growing sense of belonging, realizing that this was more than a temporary alliance, it was the start of a new way of life. As he made his way to the city hall for the upcoming meeting, a sense of excitement pulsed through him. Today would mark a crucial step in solidifying the peace they had fought to achieve. He took a deep breath, steadying himself as he approached the entrance. Inside, representatives from both species waited, their expressions a mix of hope and apprehension. With a resolute heart, Alex stepped into the room, ready to advocate for collaboration and understanding. He was not just representing himself, he was the voice of his community, a testament to the power of unity in the face of adversity. He recalled the faces of the children he helped cross the street daily, their laughter echoing in his mind. They were the future, and he could not let them down. As the meeting commenced, Alex spoke passionately about the importance of bridging their cultures. He shared stories of resilience from both species, highlighting the common ground they could build upon. The room was filled with an air of anticipation, and Alex was determined to ensure that this opportunity was not lost. "Together, we can create a future where our children can thrive," he urged, his voice steady and firm. "We have the chance to show that peace is not just a dream but a reality we can achieve if we work together." The room fell silent as his words resonated, and he could see the resolve in the faces around him growing stronger. The alien representatives listened intently, and despite their initial skepticism, he could see their expressions shifting. The barriers that had once divided them were gradually beginning to dissolve. Alex felt a swell of hope. He was no longer just a crossing guard but a catalyst for change. As the discussions unfolded, proposals were exchanged, and plans were made for shared resource management. The atmosphere transformed from cautious tension to a collaborative spirit. They were no longer adversaries, they were partners, each bringing unique strengths to the table. The realization that they could learn from one another filled Alex with optimism. Just as the negotiations progressed, a sense of unity enveloped the room. Alex felt the weight of history shifting as they laid the groundwork for a partnership that would span generations. They were not merely signing agreements, they were weaving a tapestry of cooperation and understanding that would benefit both species for years to come. As the meeting concluded, the sound of applause filled the air, and Alex felt a rush of triumph. They had not only signed agreements but had also forged friendships. The future looked bright, illuminated by the promise of what they could achieve together. With a heart full of gratitude, Alex stepped outside, greeted by the cheers of the crowd that had gathered. He raised his arms to acknowledge their support, feeling the warmth of their encouragement wash over him. "This is just the beginning, my friends," he declared, his voice rising above the crowd. "Together, we will build a future where all can thrive." And as the crowds cheered, Alex knew he had made a difference. One small gesture had transformed into a monumental step towards peace. He was no longer just a crossing guard, he was a beacon of hope, a symbol of unity in a world that had once seemed divided. The possibilities stretched before him like the vastness of space, and he was ready to embrace every moment of it.
If you're enjoying this journey, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and join us as we explore more incredible stories of unity and hope. In the aftermath of the historic meeting, Alex Rodriguez felt a sense of transformation wash over him. He stood at his usual post as a crossing guard, but today, it felt different. The noise of the bustling intergalactic city echoed around him, hover cars zooming overhead, vendors calling out their wares, and the laughter of children filled the air. It was a vibrant tapestry of life, a reminder that hope could thrive even in the most unexpected circumstances. As he guided a group of children across the street, their faces lit up with excitement, he couldn't help but smile. They were the embodiment of a bright future, a future that was now intertwined with the alien community they had once feared. Just days ago, he had stood in front of an alien armada, raising his hand in a gesture of peace. Now, he was part of a new chapter, one where humans and aliens worked together toward a common goal. "Hey, Mr. Rodriguez," shouted a little girl with bright blue hair, waving at him as she skipped along the sidewalk.
"Did you really talk to the aliens?" Alex chuckled, bending down to her level. "You bet I did. And you know what? They're not as scary as they look. They just want to share some of their cool technology with us." The girl's eyes widened in amazement, and he felt a surge of pride. It was moments like these that reminded him of why he loved his job. As the laughter subsided, Alex felt a tug at his heart. He reflected on how far they had come. The city was alive with the sounds of collaboration, humans and aliens mingling, exchanging ideas, and learning from one another. This was the reality he had fought for, a community built on understanding and compassion. He thought of the alien commander he had faced, the one who had initially seemed so imposing yet had turned into a friend. The day progressed, and the city hall was buzzing with preparations for the upcoming Cultural Exchange Festival. Alex was set to speak about the importance of unity and cooperation. It was an opportunity he never imagined he would have, and he wanted to make the most of it. He wanted to inspire others to embrace the changes that had begun to unfold. As he walked through the bustling streets, he saw alien vendors selling colorful goods, their stalls adorned with items from far-off planets. The vibrancy of the marketplace filled his senses, sweet aromas wafting from food stalls, the sound of laughter, and the gentle hum of conversation. It was a vivid reminder that diversity was not something to be feared but celebrated. Feeling a wave of gratitude, Alex paused at a food stall run by a friendly alien named Zira. She served delicious, translucent dumplings that shimmered like pearls under the city lights. "Alex," she called out, her multiple eyes sparkling. "You must try these. They're a new recipe made with ingredients from your Earth." "Absolutely," he replied, taking a bite and savoring the combination of flavors that danced on his tongue. "These are incredible, Zira. You've outdone yourself." They shared a laugh, and Alex felt the warmth of camaraderie envelop him. This was what it meant to build bridges, not just between species but within their hearts. As he continued on his way, he noticed a group of children gathered around an alien storyteller, who was captivating them with tales of their distant homeworlds. The children's eyes were wide with wonder, each story fueling their imaginations. It struck Alex how important it was to share these experiences, to learn from one another, and to cultivate empathy. Just then, a familiar face emerged from the crowd. It was Maria, a fellow crossing guard and his close friend. "Hey, Alex," she greeted with a beaming smile. "I just came from the planning committee meeting. They're really excited about the festival. They want you to lead the opening ceremony." "Me?" "Let it," he exclaimed, a mix of excitement and nervousness bubbling inside him. "What do I even say?" Maria laughed, nudging him playfully. "Just speak from the heart. You've done it before. You're a hero now, remember? You stopped an armada with just a raised hand." He chuckled at the thought. "I never thought I'd be known for that. It was just a moment of instinct." But as he spoke, he realized that it was more than that. It was a defining moment, a shift in the narrative of his life. Instincts matter, Alex. You showed everyone that courage can come from the most unexpected places. You're making history, Maria encouraged, her eyes glinting with enthusiasm. People are looking up to you now. Just be yourself and let your passion shine through. The weight of her words settled on him, and he felt a growing determination. He wanted to inspire others, to show them that even in the face of fear, there was always a choice to be made. He remembered the children crossing the street, their trust in him, and how that trust had sparked a revolution of understanding in their community. As they walked together, they discussed the festival, brainstorming ideas for activities that would bring both communities together. They envisioned games that mixed human and alien traditions, food stalls that showcased their best dishes, and storytelling sessions that would allow them to share their unique histories. The excitement was palpable, and Alex felt a sense of purpose surging within him. If you're enjoying this journey, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We're sharing these amazing stories of unity and hope every week, he said, realizing how important it was to keep spreading this message. The sun began to set, casting a golden hue over the city, and Alex felt a deep sense of fulfillment. The festival was not merely a celebration, it was a symbol of their collective journey. It was a chance to solidify the bonds they had formed and to acknowledge the hard work that had led them to this moment. As nighttime fell, the city lit up with vibrant colors, illuminating the paths of both humans and aliens who walked side by side. The laughter and chatter echoed harmoniously, a testament to the possibilities that lay ahead. Alex stood at his post, watching the interactions unfold, a smile creeping onto his face. In that moment, he realized that he was not just a crossing guard, he was a guardian of hope, a facilitator of change. He was part of something larger than himself, something that would resonate through generations to come. With a heart full of gratitude, he knew that they could face whatever challenges arose. Together, they would navigate the unknown, embracing the beauty of their differences as they built a future worth celebrating. As he waved at the children crossing the street, Alex felt a sense of pride in his role. He was ready to protect and unite, to continue fostering those connections that would lead them all to a brighter tomorrow. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, casting a warm orange glow over the bustling city, Alex Rodriguez stood at his post. The familiar intersection that had once felt ordinary now felt profoundly significant. The day had transformed him from a mere crossing guard into a symbol of hope and unity for both humans and aliens alike. The air was filled with the sounds of laughter, chatter, and the distant hum of hover cars, creating a vibrant symphony that echoed the spirit of collaboration and understanding that he had helped foster. With a sense of purpose swelling in his chest, Alex took a moment to reflect on the whirlwind of events that had led him here. Just days ago, he had raised his hand to halt an alien armada, an act that none would have expected from someone in his position. It was a simple gesture, yet it had sparked a profound dialogue between two worlds. He had seen fear and uncertainty in the eyes of both humans and aliens, but today, those same eyes sparkled with hope and excitement as they prepared for the upcoming festival, a celebration of their newfound alliance. "Hey, Alex! Ready for the big day?" Maria, his friend and fellow crossing guard, approached him, her cheeks flushed with enthusiasm. She was brimming with excitement, her energy infectious. "More than ready," Alex replied, a smile spreading across his face. "I can't believe we're actually doing this. It feels surreal." Maria nodded, her eyes sparkling. "It's incredible how far we've come. Remember how tense everything was? Now look at us. We're about to celebrate unity." As they chatted, Alex noticed a group of children playing nearby, their laughter ringing through the air like music. They were a mix of humans and aliens, their differences melting away as they engaged in games that transcended species. A young human girl laughed as she tried to explain a game to a small green alien boy, who was giggling and mimicking her movements, clearly enjoying the experience. Watching them, Alex felt a surge of pride. This was what he had envisioned, a world where children could play together without boundaries, where understanding replaced fear. "Alex, can you believe it? Just last week, we were worried about an invasion," Maria said, her voice tinged with disbelief. "And now we're here, uniting our cultures. It's amazing." "It really is," Alex agreed, his heart swelling with gratitude. "I never imagined my job would lead to something like this. I used to think I was just a crossing guard, but now I feel like I'm part of something much bigger." Maria smiled knowingly. "You are. You showed everyone that sometimes it takes a simple act to change the course of history. You raised your hand, and the world stopped to listen." As they prepared for the festival, Alex felt a renewed sense of responsibility.
He understood that this event was not just a celebration, it was a declaration of their commitment to coexistence. He wanted to use this moment to inspire others, to encourage them to embrace the unknown and build bridges instead of walls. Hey, if you're enjoying this journey, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're sharing these amazing stories of unity and hope, he said, his voice filled with sincerity. He wanted to spread the message far and wide, to show others the power of understanding. The festival grounds were adorned with colorful banners and decorations representing both human and alien cultures. Stalls were set up, offering a variety of foods, from alien delicacies that sparkled under the lights to beloved human treats like hot dogs and cotton candy. The atmosphere was electric, filled with anticipation and joy. As the festivities began, Alex took a moment to step back and observe the scene. He watched as an alien band played an upbeat tune, their music blending harmoniously with human melodies. Couples from different species danced together, their laughter resonating through the air. It was a beautiful sight, one that would have seemed unimaginable just a short time ago. Feeling a nudge at his side, Alex turned to see a young alien girl tugging at his sleeve. "Can you help me cross the street?" she asked, her large eyes filled with innocence. "Of course," Alex replied, smiling down at her. He took her hand and guided her safely across the intersection, where a group of children were gathered, eager to join in the fun. As he led her to her friends, he felt a wave of fulfillment wash over him. This was what he did best, protecting and guiding, ensuring that everyone felt safe and included. "Thank you," the little girl said, her face lighting up as she rejoined her friends. Alex watched them play, his heart swelling with pride. He realized that every small act mattered, every gesture of kindness contributed to the larger tapestry of understanding they were weaving together. As the evening progressed, Alex found himself surrounded by a diverse group of people, humans and aliens alike, sharing stories, laughter, and food. The barriers that once separated them seemed to dissolve, replaced by a sense of community and shared purpose. It was a celebration of differences, a recognition that they were stronger together. In a quiet moment, Alex found himself standing next to the alien commander who had once been an imposing figure at the head of the Armada. The commander, now wearing a traditional human festival outfit, turned to him with a warm smile. "You have done more than you know, Alex. Your bravery opened the door to understanding." "Thank you," Alex replied, feeling a sense of humility wash over him. "It was a team effort. We all played a part in this." "Yes, but it took your courage to start the conversation," the commander affirmed. "You have inspired many today, and I believe this is just the beginning of our partnership." As they spoke, Alex felt a sense of hope blossoming within him. He realized that they had not only stopped an Armada, they had changed the course of their futures. They had created a foundation upon which they could build a shared existence, rich in mutual respect and cooperation. As the festival continued into the night, Alex found himself surrounded by children and families, all laughing and enjoying the festivities. It was a beautiful chaos of joy, a reminder that unity was not just a dream but a reality they were living. He glanced around, taking in the vibrant colors and sounds, feeling a deep sense of gratitude for the journey they had taken. "Comment what your favorite moment was and turn on notifications," he encouraged, feeling the excitement of the crowd. He wanted to share this moment with the world, to show them that even in the face of uncertainty, there was always a chance to connect. As the stars twinkled overhead, Alex stood tall, ready to embrace whatever the future held. He was no longer just a crossing guard, he was a beacon of hope, a symbol of the power of human connection. And as he waved at the children crossing the street, a smile on his face, he understood that every day was an opportunity to make a difference, to build a world where love, respect, and understanding reign supreme.